All right, so I was just thinking, and I was saying, fuck it. I'm just gonna call it, right? I say that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When will psychedelics make religion obsolete? Religion eventually will seem like a thing of the past. It'll eventually seem very primitive, right? We're gonna get to a point in human history where religion is not needed anymore because the truth is in front of us. When everyone is taking the truth to go to the truth, then you won't believe another lie. When you have direct contact with what you call God, you won't need a middleman. That's all church is, right? Church is the middleman. Religion is the middleman. They are the middlemen of God, as they say. But realistically, what I think is that Mother Nature is the middle man of God, or middle woman, but like, whatever. Like, I feel like Mother Nature is the middleman to it, to what is next, to what you are. I think the secrets are inside of the molecules, but it's not really the molecules that are valuable. It's what the molecules allow you to do. The molecules allow your consciousness to travel out of the body into the field. You can call it the Higgs field, you can call it the quantum field, you can call it the DMT web or the tryptamine web. You can call it the tryptamine world. How, the whole entire world and the whole entire other dimension. You can call it whatever you want to call it. The database of the universe, or you can call it the Akasha records. But regardless of what you call it, I feel like that thing is almost here. Quantum mechanics is very close to proving just so much more than even quantum mechanics understands. More like quantum physicists today know nothing compared to the quantum physicists in 100 years. And what I'm saying is, where we're headed is so insane. Like, I used to think it was good or bad. It's neither, right? It just is what it is. I think humans need to stop worrying about dumb shit, and we need to enjoy being human, because eventually we're not going to be like this anymore. Pretty damn soon, we're going to have the option to get rid of our meat machine. We're going to have the option to upgrade, to add chips into our brain to expand our memory. We're going to, like, these are actual options. Elon Musk owns a business, he owns a company that creates chips for the brain. It creates little chips for your brain to maybe expand memory, or to maybe be more telekinetic with the technology, be able to think something into the computer and you can make it happen, like things like that. That's here now. AR, augmented reality, where you're able to put on glasses and see things in the air. That's here now. Next, it's contacts. It's just here. I honestly thought that we had time, right? I thought we had time to just, I don't know. But we really don't. We have no more time. So, stop and think about what you're doing right now. Stop to think that 100 years from now, obviously you're not going to be here. Maybe 200 years, maybe 100 you might. Who knows? Technology's getting that good, right? But like, let's say 200 years, you're damn sure not going to be here, but your great grandchildren will, right? So it's like, your great grandkids will be here, and I guess I'm saying this because the world they're living in is not going to be the same world we're living in. They're not going to do the same things. It's already happened. You already have parents that are sitting there saying, like, old people, right? We're talking like old people. I'm 25, but I hear a lot of 25-year-olds and younger talking like old people, saying, back in my day, it was like this. They say, when I was a kid, it was like this. When I, like, all these things, right? And I just think that's an old people thing. And yeah, I'm gonna get older, but I'm not gonna have an old people mindset like that, right? That's a toxic mindset to think your way was better. Your way wasn't better. Your way was more simple, but that doesn't make it better. Humans are getting ready to reach a point where we have to choose. Do we want to keep the human meat machine, or do we want to actually become 50-50, machine and human, cyborgs, right? Is this where we're going? Is this where we're headed? Right? The thing is, it's not even a question anymore. It's a decision. And what's shitty though is we're deciding it every day. I mean, we've already decided it. The problem is we're going to be so adapted to technology that these little changes will happen a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. You probably haven't thought about this, but any kid that was born from like 2008 on, or even let's say 2010 on, those kids don't know what it's like to grow up without technology. They've all had cell phones. And if you can check it out even more than that, I know people who their first phone was an iPhone. Like, think about that. My first phone was a shitty ass flip phone, and then eventually I got this, what I thought was the dopest phone ever. It was called the Razor. It was a flip phone, and it's like, yeah, it would have been dope for me to grow up with an iPhone, but like, I think a lot of old people get jealous of the next generation. They get jealous of the technology they got to use. You know, you say back in your day, you think back in your day was better. That's not honestly probably what you think. You really probably think those kids today are lucky. I wish I had that when I was their age, right? But instead of saying that, you don't want your ego to get crushed, so you say, oh, well, back in my day it was better. You try to convince the children that it was better without technology. It was better. I can't find any situation where it was better. Like, you could say, oh, kids played outside more and this and that. You act like it's not a choice anymore, though. It's still a choice. It's just like when we choose to alter our DNA. When like there's a technology called Crispr. CRISPR is a technology that allows humans to alter the genetics of the DNA. That's actually real. It's here now, right? So when this is implicated in babies, you know, when we have children, I just don't think that it's going to be a forced thing. We act like we're not going to have an option. We're going to have an option for all of this. But that's what I'm saying is we're choosing already. How many of you that are watching this, or people you know, can go without their cell phone? How many people can just go without their cell phone? How many people go on hikes? Like, how many of you go on hikes? Like, how many of you, I don't know, do you, like, when you go for a walk, do you look up at the sky? Like, do you look at the birds? Do you, at nighttime, do you look at the stars? Because those are the human things that actually matter. And those are still choices. Let me tell you, back when you could only read to learn something, or to, you know, back when cartoons were magazines, and back when stories and movies were books, like, there were still people who chose not to read. There were still people who chose not to do. They always had a choice. I think that humans are getting to a point where we're getting ready to, we have the possibility of losing our humanness. Which is why I think the human body is naturally scared of just what's coming, right? Because what could be coming is death of the human body. And we could be birthing a whole different species, right? With genetic engineering, we could fucking birth an entirely different Homo species. We're Homo we're Homo sapiens. Before us was Homo erectus. Then before that was Homo something else. But like the farther back you go, the more caveman like we become. So what I'm saying is we think that we're at the top of the pyramid. We're not. This pyramid is nowhere near its top. Humans are in the middle. Right now, Homo sapiens are just the middle of what is to come. We can't even think about what's actually coming. We can't understand it. We just can't understand a human species that its DNA is like to the point where there's no such thing as cancer, there's no such thing as this, there's no such thing as genetic diseases, there's no such thing as aging. Imagine never aging. Imagine right now, the way I look right now, imagine never getting any older than this. Right? It's a weird thought, but it's reality. This is coming. It's not that far behind. Aging is more like a disease. Like aging is a defect. It's inconvenient. It's a problem. We will continuously age, but our body doesn't need to sag and get wrinkly. Like we can fix that somehow. Like it's possible. These technologies that are coming are not. This isn't a cell phone. The technologies you're used to getting are cell phones. You're used to your cell phone getting better. But like, we don't even have cell phones anymore. We have mini computers. Like, the computer I'm holding in my hand is much better than the computers that we have today are much, like in our hands, the cell phones are immensely so much greater than the computers that they had in the 70s. I mean, the big computers that they had in the 70s, they took up a whole room for one computer. And quantum computers are in that stage right now, right? So what happens when quantum computers are in a more advanced stage? They say quantum computers aren't going to be like laptops, that there would be no point to have a quantum computer laptop. But us Homo sapiens say that. But the next species of human beings might disagree. Because I'm pretty sure Homo erectus would have said, there's no point for us to have these cell phones because they wouldn't understand them. Like, it's just, we don't get what's coming. The singularity is this thing that scientists say is the point where humans and technology merge together, where we become one. I think the problem is, I think humans need to fix the relationship with planet Earth first before we use technology. We need to become one with Mother Nature. We need to become one with the universe again. And then we'll merge with technology. And then we can go colonize the fucking stars. Then we can go, to Mars, go colonize the moons of Jupiter, go colonize other planets, go find other humanoid alien species that live on other planets, go change their DNA, help them out, help them evolve, and keep the evolution of life progressing through the physical 3D universe. Like, I think this is where we're going, right? And there are a select few that see it. Psychonauts, obviously. Any psychonaut can see where this is going. I mean, we can see that religions become obsolete because the whole planet will become a one religion planet, which will basically use tryptamines and other psychedelics to enter into the spirit world, because when you know the truth, there's no need to believe or have faith or guess. You know it, right? When you know who you are, what you are, where you come from, why you're alive, what the universe is, what God is, what this is, what that is, like, there's a whole another life you'll be living. And I think that's where we're headed as a human race, as a human species. We're headed towards a whole nother life that we'll be living. And some people will choose to merge with technology before others, and maybe some people will choose to never merge with technology because maybe they'll want to keep their organicness. Because honestly, when we merge with technology, we're going to miss being human. I mean, just like when you leave home, you get homesick, right? You go on a vacation, but for some reason you miss home, right? Eventually. And it's a similar thing. We're evolving so much that we end up missing what was before. I don't ever want to get to a point where humans end up merging with technology so much that we can't even take a psychedelic anymore because it won't work, or we can't even fall in love anymore because we understand that love is just this thing. Like, because I get that love is just, I mean, love is a drug response in the body, but it's deeper than that because drugs are deeper than just drugs. They let you access the quantum field. But even deeper than that, you can keep going, right? But if you keep going deeper than that, eventually you'll get such an understanding of it that it takes away the beauty of it, that it takes away the magic of it. When you know how the magic trick is done, it's not magic anymore. It's just a trick. So, I don't know. I think that we're headed towards something that we cannot prepare for, and it doesn't matter if you agree with it or not, it's happening. It doesn't matter. Your opinion is irrelevant. Your opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion on where the world is going doesn't really matter unless, I guess what I mean is your individual opinion doesn't matter, but the whole's opinion matters the most. We as a whole need to decide what the fuck we're doing. I think we should always have the body able to take a psychedelic and it work. Never remove the ability to fall in love, never remove the abilities to do that, but I think enhancing our DNA is better than merging with actual, enhancing our DNA so humans can be genetically smarter, I think is better than attaching a chip to the Homo sapiens brain. I think it's better to just completely evolve the species by changing the DNA than merging the species with chips and things like that, because I just think it'd be more organic and it'd last longer, it'd be more real, I think it'd be more whatever, and whatever organic is, right? Whatever that fucking word means, because everything is organic. Metal is organic. It comes from Earth. It's organic. Technology, computers, they're all organic. Everything comes from planet Earth. Nothing was transferred from Saturn to Earth to make the non-organic items. So it's all organic. But I just think, man, this shit is getting so fucking real. The world we're living in is getting so insane. And I feel like we just have to start having conversations like this, that's all. Elon Musk saying that we need to put a regulation on AI, that's good. We need conversations like that. Because I think humans are too stupid to have AI here right now. I think even the smartest people in the world are dumb as fuck because they don't understand psychedelics. They don't understand drugs. They think drugs are just drugs. And if you think a drug is just a drug, you're like, oh, that's just a drug. You're just getting high or whatever. Or you're just tripping. Then you're still naive to what the world is trying to show us. The universe left breadcrumbs for the human race to follow. But we label those breadcrumbs as drugs, and we demonize them. So we can't touch them, right? Because it's bad. We can't touch them because, oh yeah, they'll make you go crazy. Those psychedelic drugs, or those, when I started using psychedelics, people told me, oh, so you do those white people drugs, right? And it's like, I don't know. I think humans have such a primitive way of thinking. We think like cavemen sometimes, and I only say this because in 200 years, don't you think those thoughts are going to be caveman-like? What we're doing is going to be caveman-like? The humans 300, 500 years from now, humans are going to look at us today and laugh at some of the rules we have, some of the laws we have, some of the things we do, some of our perspectives, the way we think. You know, some of the way we think might seem barbaric. It might seem caveman-like, right? Like a bunch of cavemen. Even though we think we're so smart with our smartphones and our technology and our computers, and you know, we're building the beginning stages of AI, but like, we don't even understand what we're building. The people who are building AI have no clue what the fuck it is. They don't actually know what it is. We don't get what we're doing. We don't know. The smartest people in the world are fucking stupid. They don't get it. But the dumb people in the world are stupid too, obviously. Everyone's stupid because we're all just Homo sapiens and we are dumb as fuck compared to the future human beings that will inherit this planet. And they inherit it from us. We are building the future for our children. The technological world we can't live in, but we're building it for them, for our children's children's children. They will live in the world we're imagining today. Just like we're living in the world that the humans of 300 years ago imagined. But things we're doing now, humans 200 years ago could not understand. We don't understand the gap in 100 years. How much things evolve. 200 years ago, this cell phone in my hand would have seemed psychotically crazy. It would have seemed batshit wild. People had been, like the guy who created, who discovered or whatever, basically wireless connections to each other, like walkie-talkies and things like that, right? Was telling his family that he was going to send his voice through the air and you'll be able to hear it from, you know, the next house over, you know, while he's just talking into a box, and you'll talk into a box and you'll be able to hear it through the box. They literally put that man in the psych ward for that thought. They put him in the psych ward for that. His family thought he was fucking crazy. They were scared for his mental health, and they put him in the psych ward. While he was in the psych ward, he worked his ass off on working out what he needed to do to make that happen. He got out of the psych ward, and he made it actually happen. What I'm saying is, the future is going to seem crazy as fuck. People are going to say, oh, that sounds woo-woo. That's not real. Imagining a world where religion doesn't exist anymore because all the humans are using psychedelics to connect to God. That sounds really hippie and tree hugger like. Or what are all these, all the technology and merging and changing DNA and, you know, all that sounds crazy. It sounds woo-woo. But it's happening. As woo-woo as it sounds. Just like wireless connections and wireless talking exists today. It put a man in the psych ward years ago, right? Put him in the psych ward. But just because something seems crazy doesn't mean anything. Because crazy, we call crazy what we don't understand. And damn right, the caveman-like Homo sapiens we are today are not going to understand the futuristic humans that are to come. So I'm just going to leave it at that, right? The future, it's coming.